Test 1 2, test 1 2, testing, test 1 2, test 1 2, test 1 2, testing, test 1 2. I like it. Okay. All right, ready? Keep that live so you can let me know if there's any issues. I have to keep the men's game on my phone. Ready? And oh, and kicking things off in 3, 2, 1. Yes. Ready? 3, 2, 1. It's a rainy and humid day outside, but inside the weather is still pretty humid, but perfect here at the Athelton Raiders Gymnasium here in Columbia, Maryland, as we are gearing up for women's volleyball action as the Howard Community College Dragons welcome the Hagerstown Community College Hawks to town in a high-powered Region 20 showdown. Hello, folks. This is the big man on the mic, Isaac Domsky, ready to hopefully bring you all of the action as long as we don't have any major technical issues, something that we have had a lot of this year if you've been following our volleyball broadcasts, and we do apologize for those. We have been trying our best to make sure that our broadcasts go by as smoothly as possible. Sometimes tech problems happen. We've addressed most of them, we hope, and we're just going to quickly knock on wood. I'm going to tell my cameraman, Diego, knock on some wood too, just in case. Okay, after that, let's get back to the action. We have a good matchup for you today as the 2 and 5 Howard Community College Dragons take on the 8 and 3 Hagerstown Community College Hawks. Now, this season has been a season of change and transition for the Dragons. Coming into the season, first year head coach Jalen Ivey is focused on building up this program, and so far they've looked solid. The Dragons are 2 and 5 on the year, having victories against the Community College of Beaver County and Chesapeake College, while dropping their remaining games, all of which they were swept. But they have remained competitive in their sets against some of the top teams in Region 20. They're coming off an 0-3 loss, however, to Anne Arundel Community College on Saturday, and that one got away from them. They led the Riverhawks by 6 points in the first set, they were just 2 points away from winning their first set since Chesapeake 2 weeks ago, and it got away from them. The Riverhawks came back and won that one. The big worry, of course, for the Dragons is the Region 20 playoffs. 10 teams get in. The bottom 4 teams duel for the final 2 seeds. So, for the Dragons, they currently sit on the outside looking in. They are ranked 12th in Region 20. They have to be ranked 10th or higher to get into the region play-in tournament or the region playoffs. So, for the Dragons, down the stretch, this is going to be crucial. Hagerstown's one of the last schools on the roster that have a winning record, so everything going forward for the Dragons is going to be much, much closer for them. That's the situation with the Dragons. Let's talk about our opponent tonight, the Hagerstown Hawks. It's been a good year for Hagerstown. 8 and 3, ranked 4th in Region 20. 4 sweeps in their last 6 games. Their only major region loss so far was a loss to Montgomery College. Outside of that, they have been phenomenal. 6 and 1 in conference play, easily one of the favorites to take the Region 20 title this year, alongside Montgomery, Harford, Pot State, and Carroll. This team is loaded with talent, and it's mainly going to come from 2 players in particular, who we'll mention in just one second. and that is Emily Gazaway and Paige Elliott, two players that you have to watch out for, as they have been deadly all year long, both as setters and as outside hitters. Let's take a look at the lineups for today's game, and we'll start with our visitors, the Hagerstown Community College Hawks. The lineup is as follows. At setter and opposite hitter will be a freshman from Hagerstown, Maryland, number 3, Emily Gazaway. At setter and opposite hitter will be a sophomore from Hedgeville, West Virginia, number 4, Paige Elliott. At middle hitter and outside hitter will be a freshman from Hagerstown, Maryland, number 5, Heaven Jarvis. At defensive specialist and libero will be a freshman from Hagerstown, Maryland, number 7, Alaris Medina. At outside hitter and defensive specialist will be a freshman from Hagerstown, Maryland, number 9, Emma Smith. At outside hitter and opposite hitter will be a freshman from Frederick, Maryland, number 10, Jada Connolly. At defensive specialist will be a sophomore from Hagerstown, Maryland, number 13, Alexis Mackrell. At outside hitter and opposite hitter, a freshman from Boonesboro, Maryland, number 16, Victoria Eason. And at middle hitter and outside hitter will be a freshman from Hagerstown, Maryland, number 17, Mauricia Jones. The Hawks are led by head coach Sierra Hill. Now let's meet the lineup for the Howard Community College Dragons. At outside hitter will be a freshman from Ellicott City, Maryland, number 1, Abigail Lease. At defensive specialist will be a freshman from Bridgetown, Barbados, number 2, Ariana Lane. At defensive specialist and libero will be a freshman from Kiev, Ukraine, number 3, Brianna Cochran. At setter and defensive specialist will be a sophomore from Mount Airy, Maryland, number 8, Sarah McKenzie. At defensive specialist will be a sophomore from Baltimore, Maryland, number 9, Caden Jaselskis. At outside hitter will be a sophomore from Columbia, Maryland, number 10, Michaela Murray. At defensive specialist will be a sophomore from Barahona, the Dominican Republic, Irene Almonte. At defensive specialist and libero will be a sophomore from Laurel, Maryland, number 16, Alyssa Kelly. At middle blocker and outside hitter will be a freshman from Columbia, Maryland, number 17, Ariana Beasley. At middle blocker and outside hitter will be a freshman from Jessup, Maryland, number 18, Maoli Falijo. And at setter and defensive specialist will be a freshman from Eldersburg, Maryland, number 20, Cheyenne Ellis. The Dragons are led by first-year head coach Jalen Ivey and assistant coach Diana Robb. So we've got just about 12 minutes to go before the first set kicks off here. As the Dragons battle the Hawks, it's another top 5 opponent for these Dragons. We've knocked on wood. Hopefully everything will go smoothly. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, it'll be the start of what's sure to be an exciting game of volleyball as the Dragons face off against the Hawks. That's coming up right here on Howard Community College's Vimeo. We'll be right back. Test 1 2, test 1 2. Closing in on the final minutes of preparation here before we get started with another classic Dragons volleyball showdown, folks. Excuse me. Preemptively, folks, I'm going to apologize ahead of time if there's any lag or buffering issues. You may have wondered, why are we playing here in Athelton instead of at Howard Community College? The answer is quite simple. There's ongoing construction with HCC's new gymnasium, the Callert Foundation Complex. That building is currently under construction and will be open November 1st with a basketball doubleheader against Baltimore City. However, November 1st is way after volleyball season ends. So, for this season, volleyball is playing on the road. They played their home opener at Hammond High School and will play the rest of their schedule, including tonight's game here at Athelton. So we want to extend our thanks to Athelton High School for enabling us to use their facilities. So here we go. Now, in a funny circumstance, both teams are wearing all green or all white for this event. Hagerstown will be in white with green pants, green jersey, green number, excuse me, and white and black trim. The Dragons will be in white jerseys with their maroon numbers and black pants and gold trim. Not the first time this season that the Dragons have had to play an opponent wearing the same uniform as them. That's just how it goes sometimes. So, let's get this party started. Noticeably absent tonight for the Dragons is Irene Almonte. It was the only player for the Dragons not available tonight. Both teams wishing each other luck at center court. Here we go. We'll give you the starting lineups in 1 second, but we assume that the starting lineup will be the same for the Dragons as usual. Now, last game, the Dragons were without both Alyssa Kelly and Cheyenne Ellis, two of their best defensive players. They're back for this game, and they're going to be needed against this high-scoring Hagerstown team. All right, starting lineup time. For the Dragons, it will be Ellis, Beasley, Lane, Felijo, Murray, and I believe Kelly. For Hagerstown, their starting lineup will be Paige Elliott, number 4, number 13, Alexis Mackerel, number 17, Mauricia Jones, number 5, Heaven Jarvis, number 9, Emma Smith, and I believe that is her number is blocked, number 3, Emily Gazaway. I'm glad you folks were able to hear me hold that note. Proud of myself on that one. I want to give a shout out to Diego, my cameraman, who's done an excellent job, as always. Big shout out to all of our staff here, as Alyssa Kelly will come in. Actually, it'll be Kaden Jaselskis who will start over Mayoli Felijo, and she's done a great job working her way into the starting lineup. She's also going to be part of Howard's women's basketball team. Their season coming up in October. All right, here we go. Hawks and Dragons. Big test for Howard tonight to try and take on the number 4 team in Region 20. Here we go. Serve is up, and we're underway. Jaselskis with the dig, and no one caught it. It was interfered with the ceiling, and that's going to be a point to the Hawks. Bit of a miscommunication to start things off. You may wonder why our camera movement is so slow. That's to try and avoid lag. We hope. Serves up. Here we go. Jaselskis with the dig. No help coming. That was Murray, knocked over by Lane. Picked up. Here comes the first kill, and the kill by Heaven Jarvis makes it 2-0. Difficult start here for the Dragons. 2 plays, 2 miscommunications, as number 4, Paige Elliott, does the serving. Ball's up. And service error. It's off the net. Two to 1. Abigail Lease checks in, and Cheyenne Ellis, welcome back. She's going to serve. Here we go. Serves up. Ellis! Was that in? It's out. Just missed it. Just missed the line, and it's 3-1. Emma Smith checks into the game for Alexis Mackerel, and she will serve. Ball's up. Out! Give that point to the Dragons. Couple of service errors here, making things interesting. And it will be Ariana Beasley from Bridgetown, Barbados, who will serve. Ball's up. Picked up by the libero. Here's the set. The kill. It's out! Gazaway looked for it, and that ties the game 3-3 as she misses the kill. Good start for Lane at serving. As Heaven Jarvis will check out. Mauricia Jones, number 17, will check back in. They actually are going to give that point, it looks like, to the Hawks. I don't know about that. That was on the line, but they gave the point to the Hawks instead, so it's 4-2. Ball's up. Here comes the serve. Lane with a good dig. It's off the ceiling and out of bounds. That's the second time that's happened, and it's 5-2. Hawks are getting a lot of assists from the ceiling right now. It is a low ceiling here at Athelton, and that's something that a lot of teams who come to visit the Dragons have to contend with. Serves up. Kelly with the dig. Ellis, great setter, goes for the set. Murray pushes it over, and they're going to say that she went over the line. They're going to say that Murray, I believe, was over the net. 6-2. Not the start that the Dragons were looking for. Serves up, and it's tipped off of Kelly's fingertips out of bounds. 7-2. Not a good start here, but it's still early. Dragons can fight back. They've done it multiple times this year. Alaris Medina will serve. It's a short one. Ellis with the set. Sets it up for Lease. Goes for the kill. It's picked up by the Hawks. Going for the kill. Was that in? Yes. Give that one to Emily Gazaway. 8-2. Well, Hagerstown playing like the top 5 team that we knew coming in they were going to play like. Dragons have got to find a way to respond here. On the way. Nice dig by Lane. Ellis with the set. Murray puts it over. Jarvis setting up for the kill. Oh, what a block by Beasley and Lease. Lane, nice dig. We got a volley here. Here's Ellis setting up for Murray. It's off the net. Murray kicks it in frustration, and it's a 9-2. Good volley there. And head coach Jalen Ivey is going to call a timeout here to try and calm the Dragons down. Quick update from the world of soccer, as the Dragons are currently playing Frederick right now towards the end of that contest, and the undefeated streak might be over, as the Dragons currently trail 2-1 to Frederick. Keep updates in on that game. Frederick's all set to go. Out of the timeout. 9-2 the score in favor of the Hawks. Jarvis will serve. Kelly with the dig. Murray, nice set. Lane sends it over. It's picked up by Medina. There's the kill. Oh, tipped off by Lane, and that's going to make it 10-2. Excuse me, that's Alaris Medina who's serving. My mistake. As we've got a good crowd coming in here tonight for both sides. Medina off the net. Good dig by Lane. Ellis with the set. Lease going for the kill. It's out of bounds. And the Dragons struggling to get things going here tonight. 11-2. Medina over. Murray. Oh, miscalculation there, as it was too close to the net for Ellis to try and get the set. 12-2. Serves up. Murray. Ellis will dump it over. Medina sets up for Elliott. Going for the kill. What a block, out of bounds, though. And give that one to Victoria Eason. 13-2. On the way, Lane. Ellis. Murray sends it over, and it's in. Michaela Murray with a kill. It's a 10-point lead for Hagerstown, but anything can happen here. Ariana Beasley will serve for the Dragons. It's up. Nice dig there by Medina. Elliott sets up. Out of bounds. Gazaway went for the kill. This time it's past the line. 13-4. Momentum starting to come back towards the Dragons. And I think it helps that they've got the full lineup here, because it felt a little empty last game when they were missing those two defensive players. But now they've got that full lineup, and they got a full sideline too. Service error there by Beasley. That's off the net. 14-4. Gazaway will serve. Murray gets the dig. Ellis sets up for Lease, going for the kill. Oh, what a dig there by Medina. Elliott is in. A great recovery by Alaris Medina sets up Paige Elliott's kill, 15-4. And folks, I know I'm biased towards the Dragons, but I have to admit that was impressive right there. Hagerstown fully showing why they are one of the top teams in Region 20 here. As a little stoppage here, Gazaway will serve. Lane with the dig. It'll go back to Lane off of Mick. Over Felijo trying to get an easy kill here. Eason, what a block by Felijo and Lease. That still goes over, but it's out. Gazaway and Medina both tried to knock it over at the same time, and you could chalk that one up to the great block by Mayoli Felijo and Abby Lease that set up that play. It's 15-5. Dragons are not going to go down without a fight here in this first set. It is still early, though, as Kaden Jaselskis, the two-way athlete who also plays for the women's basketball team, will serve. Nice serve there, picked up. Eason going for the kill. It's out. Dragons digging into the lead here. 15-6. Jaselskas will serve again. When Jaselskas serves, the Dragons tend to have really good look. That's something I've noticed this season. Serves up. Was that in? Yes, it's an ace for Caden Jaselskas. How about that? Dragons are fighting back in this one, 15-7. Jaselskas. It's up. Backing up are the Hawks. Elliott goes for the kill. That was in. Paige Elliott, not only is she the top setter for this Hawks team, as Jada Connolly checks into the game for the first time, she'll serve, but Elliott also their second leading killer. That shows you how dangerous this Hawks team is. Connolly's serve is dug up by Kelly. Lane, Murray sends it over, picked up by Mackerel. Setting up the kill attempt here for number 9. That was Smith, picked up by Lane. Ellis with the set. Mick goes for the kill. Kept alive by Gazaway. That would have been out of bounds. She could have gotten an error there. Medina sends it over. Double dig there by Lane and Kelly. Here's Mick again. Oh, miscalculation on the kill. On the spike, excuse me. And it's back to a 10-point lead for the Hawks. That was a nifty little volley there. Good effort from both teams, but could have been ended earlier there if Gazaway let it go out of bounds. Mackerel will serve. Off the net. Oh, Lane touched it. Lane dived at the last second there. I think she thought that was going to be a service error if it went the other way, but good reaction time. Mackerel will serve. Kelly digs it out of bounds. Well, if they can't get back into this one, there's still at least 2 more sets to go for the Dragons, so they can at least fight back and make this one interesting. And they're going to take their second time out of the set here. They're going to need some time to regroup as they trail 19-7. We're going to take this opportunity to take a short break as well, and when we come back, it'll be the resumption of this first set. Got an interesting one here, folks. We'll be right back. Quick score update, folks. It's still 2-1 in favor of Frederick as the seconds are ticking down, and it looks like the undefeated streak is going to come to an end for the Howard Dragons. But hey, 6-0 start, best start they've had in the modern era of record keeping. This program is headed in the right direction, and they got a big game coming up this Thursday on the road against Montgomery, a Region 20 powerhouse, so be sure to tune into that. Mackerel will serve. Back to the action we go here. Jaselskas with a nice dig. Ellis sets it up for Felijo. Tips it in. Picked up by Medina. Gazaway trying to set up for Elliott. Lane saves it. Set by Ellis. Mick. Was it in? Yes, it was. Michaela Murray with the kill. 19-8. And Murray will serve. They try to get the Dragons back in here. That was out. Service error makes it 22-8. Good try by Murray, and a quick update from up in Frederick. The Cougars have scored. It is 3-1. As Ellis tips that one off, that's going to be an ace for Mauricia Jones. 21-8. It's looking more and more like this is going to be a Dragons throwaway set. That is off the rafters and another miscalculation. That is the third time that has happened to this set for the Dragons, that someone has hit it up into the rafters. They've lost track of where it is. It's kind of like the rafters at the Tropicana Dome. If you're familiar with baseball, when a ball gets hit up there, players can lose it. Nice dig by Kelly. Ellis tries to keep it alive. It's off the net. This is an issue for the Dragons. They start making errors and they can't stop. It's happened all season long for them. Jones will serve. Jaselskas with the dig. Ellis will set up. Murray going for the kill. Kept alive by Gazaway. Mackerel comes in for the set. Smith going for the kill. Kelly, nice dig. Ellis puts it up. Lane off the net. Game point. Hawks. Rather, I should say set point. Jones serves. Jaselskis puts it up for Ellis. Ellis will put it up for Murray. Two hands it over. Oh, that's going to be close. Gasaway somehow. No, it was short. But if that would have gone over, that would have been something special from Emily Gasaway. 24-9. The Dragons get one back. Alyssa Kelly, the libero, will serve. Gasaway very nearly had the play of the game. Kelly will send it over. Smith. Gasaway, back to Smith, it looks like. Smith for a short one. Jaselskis with the dig. Kept alive by Ellis. Lane. Was that in? It was in. Ariana Lane gets a kill. 24-10. Dragons have not made this an easy victory for Hagerstown, and Hagerstown's probably going to win this set, but the Dragons have not made it easy. Kelly will send it over. Mackerel. Gasaway. Elliott going for the kill. That was out. Give another point back to the Dragons. 24-11. It'll be Kelly serving. It's up. Mackerel. Gasaway with the set. Trying to get the kill. What a block by Ariana Beasley at Cheyenne Ellis. 12-point game. You know, I mean, anything can happen. I'm just saying. Here's Kelly. I stand corrected. All right, well, wishful thinking, but they did fight hard. Kelly with the service error. That's going to end the first set. Hagerstown takes it 25-12, but the Dragons fought there at the end. Momentum could be swinging the opposite direction. We're going to take a break for a second between the sets. You are watching Howard Community College Women's Volleyball live on HCC Vimeo. We'll be back in about 3 minutes with the start of set number 2. for the start of the second set here at Athelton High School Gymnasium. Folks, you've been following along with our updates. We've got some unfortunate news to report from Frederick. The final score, Frederick 3, Howard 2. The first loss of the season for the Howard Community College Dragons. They fought well, though, got a own goal with just seconds left, but weren't able to capitalize. Well, got the first one out of the way. This is still a solid team. Let's get back to the action with this game because the Dragons looked pretty feisty there towards the end of that first set. Hopefully here the second set they could show that feistiness wasn't just a rush of adrenaline and that they've got some momentum going. You can see the little numbers on your scoreboard. That's a new feature we've added to the scoreboard. That shows you who is ahead in terms of sets. So the Hawks lead at the whole contest 1-0 as we begin this second set. Dragons will open things up here with Cheyenne Ellis serving. It'll be Ellis, Murray, Kelly, Beasley, Lease, and Lane on the court as we're underway. Medina sets it up for Gazaway. Elliott for the kill. Oh, and a mistake by Murray. Got a little too low while trying to go for the dig, and the Hawks take an early 1-0 lead. Paige Elliott will serve. It's Elliott, Jarvis, Gazaway, Smith, Mackerel, and Medina on the court for the Hawks. That was a kill attempt from Lane. Smith, nice dig by Kelly. Ellis with the setup. Lease bumps it over. Picked up by Mackerel. Kept alive. Jarvis going for the kill. Murray. It's off her fingertips, and it's a 2-0 lead for Hagerstown. 2-0 in favor of the Hawks. Dragons got to get some momentum back here as Elliott will serve. Just barely clears the net. Murray with the dig. Ellis with the set. Going for the kill, and that was a block by Jarvis and Gazaway. It's 3-0. Hagerstown's bench is getting loud. They've only got 4 people on it, including their coach. Here's Elliott with the serve. Lane somehow keeps it alive. Murray will send it over. Medina keeps it alive. Elliott sets up. Jarvis, nice block by Beasley. It's kept alive. Ellis puts it up. Lease. And it's blocked once again by Heaven Jarvis and Emily Gazaway for a 4-0 lead for Hagerstown. Probably should mention Hagerstown's a very small team. They've got a smaller squad than the Dragons do. That hasn't stopped them from maximizing their potential. Michaela Murray with an error there off that attempted bump, and it's 5-0. Well, it's still early in this set. Anything could happen, but it's a good time serving here for Paige Elliott. Paige puts it up, and it's in for an ace. Elliott, Kelly, Murray, Lease. Kept alive by Mackerel off the rafters. Medina keeps it alive. Smith sends it over. Quick bumps here. Lane puts it up and over. What a move. Gazaway. Ellis with the nice dig. Murray sets for Lane. Oh, what a kill by Ariana Lane. It was partially blocked by Gazaway. And Ariana Lane gives the Dragons their first points of the match. It's 6-1. Lane will serve. Mackerel. Smith sets up for Jarvis, who's going to get that as Lane takes a big hit. It ricocheted off her hand and actually landed in the Hagerstown stands, and it will be 7-1. in favor of the Hawks. Substitutes coming in, number 10, Jada Connolly is in the game for the Hawks. Smith. Kelly with the dig, goes back over. Medina responds, finds Elliott. Gazaway going for the kill. Oh, off target. It went the wrong way. Give a little momentum back to the Dragons here. Beasley. Medina. Connolly goes for the kill. And she'll get the error kill on that as Ellis dug it into the net. 7-3. Mauricia Jones back into the game for Hagerstown. On the way. Murray digs it out of bounds. Fix our score there. It's 9-2 instead of 8-3. Sorry about that. Medina will once again serve. Lane picks it up. Ellis with the bump. Here comes Murray for the kill. Oh, off the fingertips of Gazaway and Jones. There's that third point for the Dragons. As they're taking full advantage there of Gazaway blocking on the right side, they can get to her, it looks like. They could draw a nice error kill from her off of that off of her attempted block. Kaden Jaselskis will check in for Abby Lease, and she will serve. On the way. Up and off one of our ball boys, Jaselskis with an ace. All right, Dragons are now starting to fight back a bit. They're starting to get that momentum that they lost earlier. And again, it's because Kaden Jaselskis is serving. It always seems to be this way when Jaselskis serves. And it will be another point for Jaselskis as Hagerstown can't corral it. 9-5, 4-point game. Closest it has been. #15th serve of the contest. Jaselskis over. Connolly. They're going to set it up. They tried the block. Keep it alive. Here's Lane going for the kill. Medina. Elliott. Jones. That was in. And Hagerstown needed that after they lost some momentum. 10-5, 5-point game. All right, we got a much closer set here. As Jaselskis, Ellis keeps it alive. What about that from Ariana Lane? How about that to keep it alive? Elliott goes for the kill. And Kelly is going to be credited with the error there, but what a play by Ariana Lane to keep that volley alive. Point will go to Hagerstown, but that was impressive. Jaselskis hit it low. Great response time by Cheyenne Ellis to keep it alive, and Lane somehow got it over the net. Great dig by Kelly. Ellis. Lane goes for the kill, picked up by Medina. Gazaway will set up for Connolly. Lane sends it right back. Jones. Lane again got it. Kelly keeps it alive. Murray will send it back over. Smith backing up. Finds Gazaway setting up for Connolly. It's out! Great teamwork here from the Dragons to keep this one close. It's 11-6. And don't worry, folks. Our ball boy is okay who got hit. That's one of our men's basketball players. He's okay. Those volleyballs don't really hurt unless they're hitting you full speed and you're not ready for it. Here's Michaela Murray on the serve. Off the net, Medina had to lunge for it. Smith keeps it alive. Connolly will send it over. Murray. Ellis. Lane. Blocked by Paige Elliott. Nasty block pushes the lead to 6. It's 12-6. Mackerel's back into the contest. Mackerel will serve. Puts it up, and Michaela Murray can't get a hand on it. 13-6. Mackerel on the way. Ball's up. Kelly with the dig. Jaselskis with the assist. Lane puts it over. Gazaway for Elliott. What a dig by Murray. Ellis. Kelly's got it. Puts it over. Medina picks it up. Smith for the kill. Jaselskis keeps it alive, and it goes out of bounds. Boy, Hagerstown's starting to pull away here, but it's not as easily as they did last set. Dragons are making this one tricky with some nice volleys. Little stoppage here as we're getting an extra ball off the court. Mackerel will continue her English, hard to speak. Mackerel will continue her turn serving, and there's a service ace. Makes it a 7-point game, 14-7. All right, here we go. Kelly on the serve, short. Medina, Gazaway, Elliott. Kelly keeps it alive. Ellis with a nice bump sets up for Murray for the kill. Kept alive by Mackerel. Here's Gazaway, puts it up for Smith. Nice block by Beasley. Medina puts it up. Elliott trying to go for the kill. Jaselskis. Ellis. Lane. Knocked up. Medina's going to try and keep that alive. Beasley tips it back over. What a volley. Gazaway puts it up for Elliott. Goes for the kill. Murray. Smith somehow keeps that alive. Gazaway goes for the kill. Ellis dumps it over. This might be the longest volley of the year. Here's Elliott for the kill. Oh! It's off the net! What a series that was. And the Dragons get one back. 14-8. That was mighty impressive from both teams with some incredible saves. And Alyssa Kelly will serve. Medina. Gazaway. Here's Smith. Murray puts it up. Kelly keeps it alive. Ellis puts it over. Great job so far. Here's Smith going for the kill. Murray. Ellis. Beasley. Oh, was that off the floor? No, it was off of Medina. That's a kill for Ariana Beasley. Ariana Beasley. That might have hit the floor, actually. Medina dove for it. Managed to keep it alive somehow. And it's 14-9. Like I said, the Dragons caught lightning in a bottle at the end of that first set, and they're trying to keep it going here. Kelly puts it over. Medina. Gazaway. Elliott goes for the kill. Kelly keeps it alive. Lane. Mackerel. Gazaway. Smith. Was that out? No, that was in. Nice kill by Emma Smith there. Just hitting the corner. 15-9. And a good spot by our event staff to get it in the right place. That was close. Jones will serve. Lane puts it up. Murray tries to keep it alive. And this is where the Dragons struggle when they get into these situations. A couple of errors in a row. They get a little bit discombobulated, but and they keep the pressure on. Jones, Jaselskis, Ellis, Murray with the kill. Kept alive by Gazaway. Mackerel. Smith. Murray covers. Ellis puts it up. I think Jarvis got it over. Somehow they keep it alive. How about that from Lane? Smith will dump it over short. Jaselskis puts it up. Here's Ellis. Here's Lane. It's blocked by Elliott. And they're going to give that point to the Hawks, as I believe Ariana Lane had a foot out of bounds when she sent it back over. 17-9. Jones will serve. Short, Jaselskis. Ellis. Lane. Avoids the block. Smith. Got an assist from the net. Ellis puts it up. Beasley. Gazaway. For Smith, trying to tip it over. Beasley tips it right back. Gazaway puts it up. Elliott. Jaselskis. Ellis. Beasley. Mackerel. Elliott off the net. I would give that a block to the two Arianas. Lane and Beasley. As it's 17-10. Abby Lease back into the game. She's been one of the most vicious killers for this Howard squad. That's weird to say in a sport, but yeah, that's what it's called. Ellis with the serve. Nice serve. Caught Mackerel off balance. Off the net. Ooh, but Elliott gets the kill. as Ellis can't respond. 18-10. Well, this one a whole lot closer than set number one was. Dragons are making things uncomfortable here for Hagerstown as they're finding why this Dragons team is tough to play against. They will fight. Murray dumps that one out of bounds by mistake. It's 19-10. And the Dragons are going to take a timeout. They trail by 9 here in this second set. We'll be back in 1 minute after a short break. Out of the timeout, 19-10 in favor of the Hagerstown Hawks. Paige Elliott will serve. It's over. Murray out of bounds, kept alive somehow. That was a little too far out of bounds by Abby Lease. 20-10, 10-point lead. Been a rough day in Dragon Country today, folks. Day opened with women's soccer on the road against Frederick. They lost 5-0. Men's soccer suffered their first loss of the season. It's up to volleyball to try and get back some hope here. And they're fighting hard. Here's Lane. Puts it over. Elliott with the dig. Gasway sets up for Jarvis. And they're going to give that a kill as Lease and Beasley couldn't get the block off. 21-10. You know, sometimes you have days like this in your athletic department where multiple teams lose. You just got to brush them off and keep going. How about that from Heaven Jarvis? That was nasty. As Jarvis saw an opportunity there off that dig by Kelly. 22-10. Hagerstown 3 points away from winning set 2, taking a commanding 2-0 lead. Elliott puts it over. As Jarvis almost got another one, Lane punts it back. And a whistle is taken. I think Lane had a shoe over the line. It's going to be 23-10 in favor of the Hawks. Paige Elliott will continue to serve. She started this set serving and did a wonderful job to build a big lead for the Hawks. As the loose ball rolling on the court. Ariana Lane will scoop that up and toss it over to one of our ball boys. Elliott serve on the way. Off the net, service ace. Excuse me, service error. 23-11. Ariana Lane will serve, trying to get the Dragons back into this one. Can they do what they did at the end of the last set and catch lightning in a bottle? Elliott sets up. Gasway goes for the kill. Was that out? It was in. They're going to say it was in. 24-11 set point. Excuse me, 24-11, not 243-11. Whoops. And Jarvis will end it. Gnarly spike there. 25-11 is the score after 2. Well, Hagerstown up 2-0. Going to need one heck of a comeback here for the Dragons to get back into this one. We're going to take another 3-minute break, and we'll be back with the third and hopefully not the final set. Let's get a comeback going, girls. Let's do this. We'll be right back. Final set getting ready to go. Hopefully not, excuse me. Hopefully not the final set getting set to start here at Athelton High School Gymnasium. Hagerstown leads it 2-0 as the Dragons will start on the court for this third set with Cheyenne Ellis, Ariana Beasley, Ariana Lane, Alyssa Kelly, Michaela Murray, and Kaden Jaselskis. Hagerstown, it will be Elliott, Medina, Mackerel, Smith, Jarvis, and Gazaway. Here we go. Final set getting underway. Paige Elliott will lead off here. Murray, Ellis, Murray going back for the kill. Gazaway tips it over. Somehow kept alive, and that's out. Dragons take the early, Hawks take the early lead here, 1-0. That's an ace from Elliott. Right off. As they are exploiting gaps in Howard's protection. Elliott has been immaculate serving tonight so far. As she puts that one up. Jaselskis couldn't respond fast enough. 3-0. These third sets have been difficult for the Dragons. Oftentimes they found themselves falling apart down the stretch due to errors. But they've got to keep the pressure up. Off of the net. Kept alive by Lane. Kept alive by Ellis. Beasley puts it up and over and out. 4-0. Want to give a special birthday shout out, by the way, folks, to our own Ariana Lane. Turns 19 years old today. Had a funny exchange in the office earlier today, and we'll hold that thought real quick. That was off the net from Elliott. Jaselskis keeps it alive. Here comes Lane going for the kill. Medina keeps it alive. Elliott setting up for Smith, going for the kill, and gets it. 5-0. Finishing up the thought, head coach Jalen Ivey and I work together in the sports information department at Howard Community College when I'm not calling games and when she's not coaching. And earlier today, one of her kids came in. That was Ariana Lane. Happens to be her birthday. Elliott served. That's going to be an ace right there as it slips between two defenders. Well, Ari comes in and just happens to mention it's her birthday, and head coach Jalen is beside herself with happiness, and as a result now, there are cupcakes on the sideline that will be eaten after today's game. So, big happy birthday shout out to Ariana Lane. Got that one as an error from Michaela Murray as it goes out of bounds. 7-0. And the Dragons are going to take a much-needed timeout here. We're going to take a timeout too, and we'll be right back as Hagerstown leads 7-0 over Howard early in this third set. Back to the action we go. 7-0 in favor of the Hawks. Paige Elliott continuing to serve in what's been an excellent time for her. Jaselskis with a nice dig. Ellis puts it up. Beasley goes for the kill. Kept alive by Medina. Elliott sets up. Gazaway. Jaselskis saves. Ellis. Murray. That's in! 7-1. First points of the set from Michaela Murray. As Abby Lease checks into the game for the Dragons. Fun little chant on the sideline there by the Dragons bench of Maoli Falijo, Sarah McKenzie, and Brianna Cochran. Nice serve there by Ellis. Smith sends it over. Murray keeps it alive. Ellis. Lease. Popped up. Hagerstown off kilter here, trying to find an opening. Murray. Ellis. Lane. Out. No, they're going to count that. Okay, they're going to count that for the Dragons there. Give that instead to Ariana Lane. I think that was a violation on Hagerstown's part, but they give that point back to the Dragons. Okay. Ellis will serve. And that one was out of bounds. 8-2. This Dragons team is scrappy. They're not going down without a fight no matter what, and I think that's what makes them one of the more interesting teams in Region 20. As checking into the game is Victoria Eason, number 16. Smith will serve. Lane. Ellis. Beasley. Blocked by Jarvis. Heaven Jarvis having a big game here. A couple of kills at the end of the last set and a couple of big blocks. And there's a service ace by Smith. Errors like that from Hagerstown are going to keep the Dragons in that game, and that's what we want to see. It's okay, folks. I'm allowed to be biased since this is Howard's Vimeo channel. To the Hagerstown viewers watching this, I apologize, but that's just kind of going to be the way it's going to be. Lane with the serve. Medina's going to try and take the kill here, and he's going to get the error kill as Ellis miscalculates on that dig. 10-3. Kelly, nice dig. Ellis. Murray will push it over. Jones, nice block by Beasley and Lease. Nice block by Beasley and Lease. They are going to say, however, that the ball went out of bounds and give the point to the Hawks. I don't know if I agree with that. The crowd definitely doesn't. It's 11-3. And neither did the Howard bench. They looked annoyed at that one. Murray puts it up into the rafters, taking some bounces. Ellis keeps it alive. Good adjustment. Murray sends it back with a no-looker. Setting up a kill for Eason. That was in. Well, I'll tell you one thing about this Hagerstown team, folks, from watching it so far. There are about 5 teams in Region 20 that I think have a reasonable shot of winning this year's tournament. Hagerstown is right up there with them. They may have a small team, but they are a vicious team to play. Lane tumbles on that dig. Gets put up. Kelly is going to have to get the kill. It's a short one. Scooped up by Ellis. Murray sends it right back. Medina keeps it alive. Eason puts it up. Elliott tries to go for the kill. It's kept alive. How about that play from Ellis? Getting it to Lease. They put it up for Jarvis, and it's out of bounds. Point will go to the Dragons. Good volley and some great defensive plays there by Cheyenne Ellis, who is the defensive anchor of this Dragons team. When she and Alyssa Kelly, the libero, were out last game, the defense just felt like the defense wasn't able to get the same results that they have. Now that they're back, the defense looks a whole lot more focused. Lane sends that one right back out of bounds. It's 13-4. Gazaway's turn to serve. Kelly will send that right towards us, making it 14-4. Gazaway's serve will continue. That's an ace. It split 2 defenders. That's the second time that has happened in this set. This is a tough one here for the Dragons. The good news is the schedule's going to get a whole lot easier because Saturday they're playing Westmoreland, and from then on out, it's mostly teams that are around the same in terms of talent or below them. The bulk of the heavy schedule is early in the year. As another ace by Gazaway. Dragons had a murderer's row of a schedule to start the season. Hagerstown is the 4th top 5 team that they have played to start this year off. They also faced off against Montgomery, Carroll, and Potomac State. The only top 5 team they haven't played is #1 ranked Hartford. That's a team that they play later in the season. Short serve there by Gazaway is going to set up a chance for Abby Lease. Medina keeps it alive. Elliott going for the kill. Got it. Hagerstown trying to end this one early. It's 6:52. We might get this one in less than an hour if Hagerstown keeps this up. Dragons have got to get back at this one if they want a chance, but it's going to be a long road for them. They've played well, as that one is another ace for Gazaway, excuse me. 18-4. I think at this point, a timeout's not going to do you any good because the team seems to be a bit discombobulated. You're just going to have to ride this one out and wait for the momentum to turn. Gazaway going for a short one. Miscalculation on her part. There you go. That's the momentum changer you need. A service error by Gazaway. Hayden Jaselskis will check in. Okay, here we go. Jaselskis puts it up. Smith. Gazaway. Little tip by Elliott. Nice play by Murray. Vallejo will send it back. Smith. Gazaway. Jones tips. Lane keeps it alive somehow, but no one was ready for her. 19-5. Ariana Lane, great play there defensively to try and keep that one alive. As Mackerel checks back into the game, it'll be her turn to serve. As we're getting down into the final moments here of this contest, 19-5 is the score in favor of Hagerstown. Nice dig by Kelly. Murray dodges the block. Gazaway keeps it alive. Medina pops it up. Elliott, that was blocked out of bounds. And they're going to say it was off the fingertips of Vallejo and Murray. It's 20-5. Lane. Murray. Ellis sends it over. Here's Smith outside. Good block by Vallejo. Jones pops it up. Gazaway. Elliott for the kill. Kept alive by Caden Jaselskis. Jones pops it right back. It ricochets between two Dragon jerseys. And 21-5 is the result. Another score for the Hagerstown Hawks, as both Jaselskis and Ellis were trying to corral that ball. Mackerel will serve. Lane. Ellis can't handle it. 22-5, 3 away for Hagerstown for a clean sweep, and this would be the third straight game that the Dragons have been swept. Jaselskis. Kelly. Murray. Mackerel keeps it alive. It's up for no one as Elliott ricochets it off the net. And the Dragons get a point back, 22-6. Michaela Murray will serve. And serves it off the back of Maoli Vallejo's head. 23-6. If there's one thing that's gone good tonight, it has been that our broadcast has been incident-free, which I'm very pleased with after all the technical issues that we've had. Murray goes for the kill. Jones keeps it alive. Gazaway. Smith. Murray. Game point. (24-6). Hagerstown trying to end this one. Jones is up. Jaselskis. Ellis. Murray. Jones. Gazaway. Smith. Little fists it up. There's Lane trying to go for the kill. And they're going to say Hagerstown stepped over the line. That's an error, and that is that's a little birthday present there for Ariana Lane, extending this game 24-7. Kelly. Jarvis. Gazaway sets up for Elliott off the net. Beasley puts it up. Lane off the net. That'll do it. 25-7 is the final in set number 3. The Hawks win it 3-0. They sweep the Dragons. That was a rough one, folks. We want to thank you for tuning in for today's broadcast. I know it was a short one, folks, as that final game time, folks, was 57 minutes. Tough one here for the Dragons, but the good news is the schedule does get easier down the stretch. Our next broadcast will be Saturday at noon as the Dragons host the Westmoreland Wolfpack. Westmoreland struggling this year. Could be a chance for the Dragons to snag their 3rd win of the season. Congratulations to Hagerstown. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with down the stretch, and I think after watching this team play, this might be the team, folks, that could win Region 20. And I say this as a fan of the opposing team, but they are going to be tough. Dragons are in their little debrief circle. Teardown is underway. We're going to take this opportunity to step away, folks. We thank you for tuning in to today's broadcast, and we're very pleased with how the broadcast went as smooth as it did, especially considering all the technical issues that we've had this year, especially with volleyball, and I do apologize for those tech issues. I'm glad to say that we managed to avoid them during today's game, and we're all looking forward to continue bringing you Howard Dragons volleyball and other sports. So, for all of us here at Howard Community College, big thank you once again to Atholton High School for letting us use their facilities. We will see you Saturday. This is the big man on the mic, Isaac Donsky, signing off as Hagerstown beats the Dragons 3-0. Good night, everybody.